Hey Mark, so this is 2264 Nixon, and I am just doing a check to see if India did the India team made all the corrections from my previous set of notes. And in going through it, looks like they picked up everything. There are a couple things I guess I would bring to your attention, maybe things to consider if you want them changed at all. But I'll just go through. So there was inaccuracy in the concrete takeoff, so they picked that up. Add a couple notes to this front elevation about the siding material. There were a couple of space schedule inaccuracies um, with three of the rooms, and they picked up all those changes, and it's accurate in the model as well. Um, this was kind of a little bit. I think they had just pulled this from another project, and a lot of there were several things that were wrong with it. Looks like they picked up everything. Um, this would be a question. I don't know. I'm guessing that for the builder, it's not going to make a big difference, but I was just curious about this. I don't know. I mean, typically, like if I were designing this, it would be I would specify either a hot attic or cold attic condition, and it looks like here it's kind of both, which seems a little strange to me, but maybe that's fine. And also, maybe it's not worth correcting. So these are both here. I don't know what the condition is. I would actually probably assume if you're putting the air handler up there that you want a I don't know. Maybe that would have an impact. If you want a little more sound dampening, maybe doing a cold attic would make sense there. But anyway, I'm pretty sure we wouldn't want both R49. I don't think energy code calls for an R100 attic. Um, so I guess we should address that in some capacity if it's needed, even. Um, Everything looked good on sheet two. This sheet, I think it's fine. I think I'm splitting hairs here a little bit, but they were missing a dimension from this wall to this wall, and potentially here. And my splitting hairs would be, I think that the dimension change should be pulled down lower. But again, maybe that's splitting hairs. So I just made a note of that, and it looked like this is accurate too. Although this does need, um, we were still kind of waiting on your response for how they were going to actually pour this slab, whether it was going to be um, all flushed out. I think there was a accessibility concern that you mentioned at some point, and that you were going to make a decision on that. I don't know if you did in writing somewhere, but if you want to let me know. And I'm thinking that we wouldn't have to make any. Yeah, like I think the way it's noted here, it could be kind of field determined, is the way I would interpret this at least. So maybe no need for a note, but if there is something that you want noted in there, we can certainly put that in. And then on this sheet, there were quite a few things to change. They made the correction to the HVAC totals, added a few dimensions here. They made changes to they picked up all the red lines on this. A couple smoke detector carbon monoxide combo units um, that were added here, and what else? There was a note here changing this. I just thought that this was confusing. I'm not sure this is the best way. I would probably do like a bit of an enlarged plan with this, probably, if we really wanted to show that. But I just think that this is a little bit And even actually the way this is drawn is not terribly clear to the builder of how we're going to do these column bases, especially with this touching. I don't know if this is, this might be a level of detail that we don't need to cover for working with this builder. So like having this kind of column base pilaster kind of situation articulated probably a little more, I would say would probably be something that I would do, but maybe not needed. Yeah, and they picked up all the dimensions, made the changes to. There's a couple notes. Oh, this is a note that I made a note here. This was, I don't know if this is more for you or if it's needed here. But if the air handler is going to be mounted in the attic above the main part, not the. I'm guessing this is kind of like an in-law suite kind of thing, or like maybe it's like a little Airbnb. I'm not sure. But anyway, if it's going to be mounted on this side, I think that the attic access size and location might be determined upon the kind of specifications of this air handler unit. So, if the unit's bigger or parts are going to be needed that are bigger, maybe there's a larger access point, or just something to consider. So anyway, everything looks good as far as what they picked up, and I think it's ready for your review. Yeah. Okay. Thanks, Mark.